Hi everybody, today we are going to see what is data type, constants, literal and variable. When you write a program, you will be handling some data, right? That data will be any type, right? Say for example, if you are going to print the age of a person, that age of a person has some data type. Technically speaking, we call that any number which is whole value, right? It is called an integer. Okay, and we have a what are the data types that we have in real world? Say for example, if you say your initial, okay, it is a data type of char. Okay, if you have any numbers with decimal points, we call that as float, right? Okay, so what are the data types that C++ has? So data types in C++. First, integer. Number 2, float. Number 3, char, which means a character, right? And number 4, double. Number 5, long, right? These are the data type that we have in C++, right? So anything that enclosed in a single quotes represents a character data. The numbers without a fractions represent the integer data. The numbers with fraction represents a real data, which means it's a float. And anything that is enclosed in a double quotes represents string, right? So the last data type is what? It's a string. So if you say your name, it falls into the category called string. Okay, so if you see the integer, it also a whole number. Okay, or we can say a number without any decimal point. This is what is float. The float is a number with decimal point. Then this is a single letter. Okay, single letter, like your grade of a subject. Okay, A grade, S grade. Okay, so those are called character. So single letter enclosed inside a single quote. Okay, right? And the double is also a number with decimal point. Long, okay, is a number without any decimal point. So string means what? So here the characters, I mean the alphabets, okay, alphabets enclosed with double quotes, right? The character will enclosed with single quotes, but here the string is alphabets that enclosed with a double quotes. Okay, so what is the example that I can give for an integer? Say for example is 23, 45, 789, okay, and 1256. Okay, so these are called integer. What is called float? Example, it is 23.5, okay, 26.8, 85.23. so these are called float decimal point. So I'll just give a space so that you'll understand neatly, right? So as I told you, the character is enclosed with single quotes, right? So I have to enclose it with a single quotes, A and then S grade. So that's why I give a capital letter. Okay, so then I can give even this is also a character. In what is called double, right? That's where the point. Here double also a number with decimal point, and integer also is a number without any decimal point. Then what's the difference? So the float is also with decimal point and number is also with decimal point. What is the difference? Right? The float will allow you only to give a 5 to 7 numbers after the dot. Okay, say for example, so this is valid. Suppose if I give 34.567, okay, 34 point, okay, this is allowed, okay, only 7 decimal, whereas if I give 89 point something like this is not a float. Okay, it is not allowed because the precision is only up to 7 digits after the decimal point. That is why we call the double as double, because double is double than the float. Okay, so if you see the float, right, it will allow you to have only 7 decimal point after the dot, but whereas a double allows you to have the number of decimal numbers after decimal point is 15. Okay, so I can give, so which is valid then? So if I give 89 point, okay, so this is valid, so is a perfect double number. Okay, whereas that same what I given here, this is not a float. Okay, right? So for your understanding, I'm just given this. Okay, right? So if you see long is also without a decimal point and integer is also without decimal point, right? So why and how? It is same way. For example, if I want to store my mobile number, okay, I cannot store it inside an integer. Okay, right? So it is actually the integer represented using a int. Okay, it is represented using int. Okay, right? And the float is it's actually a float with f small f, right? And so I cannot store it inside an integer. Okay, why? Because every data type has its own range. That is very, very important. Okay, every integer has its own range. So that's why I just tell you, if I want to store only my mobile number, right, I cannot store it inside an integer. Okay, it's because it is not enough to store. Okay, that's why it is not used as a data type to store a very big number. Okay, because account number and all, if you see a bank account number, right, so it will be very big. Okay, so very big number. So what is called a very big number, right? See, if you take an integer, the integer can store up to 32,767 only. Okay, so if you give more than that, okay, your compiler will throw you an error. Okay, there is no space to store an integer, something like that. Okay, right? So these are the things that we need to consider for data type. Okay, so if I'm going to store a mobile number, I should not choose integer. Okay, if I'm going to store an account number, I should not choose integer. If I'm going to store an university register number, okay, usually university register number will not be a 4 digit or 5 digit, it will be a minimum 12 digit, right? So you cannot use integer, that's why. Okay, string, right? String you can store as much as you can, right? So you can store your names. Okay, so for that we use a string. Okay, now I'll give you a little more information about integer data type. Okay, right? See, if you take the latest C++ version, that is C++ 11, has added a new data type. It is called long int. Okay, so which is at least 8 bytes long. Okay, now we'll talk about the range, because that is what we have been talking about, right? So let's say about the ranges of each data type. Okay, if I say integer, okay, we have int. So int has 2 bytes. This is actually a size. Okay, for example, int, okay, int, and then what is the size? The size is 2 bytes. Okay, then what is its range? Its range is from 30 to 767. Okay, right? So if you put a 2 power of what is the 2 bytes? 2 bytes is actually 16 bit. Okay, 2 power 16. Fine. Okay, now that is what the range. Okay, now if you see the data type, right, the data type has modifiers. The data type modifiers. Okay, so we'll just talk about this and then we'll come back to this. Okay, what is that modifier? Okay, so the except the type void, the basic data types may have the various modifiers preceding them. Okay, so you use a modifier to alter the meaning of the base data type. Okay, right, which means the modifiers are used to alter the meaning of the base type to fit various situations more precisely. Okay, so now what are the modifiers that we have? We have signed, next unsigned, next number 3 long, number 4 short. Okay, right, fine. Now why I'm talking about this, you know, the signed means what? Okay, it takes both positive and negative numbers. Okay, what is unsigned? It takes only, there is no sign, because in positive numbers we will not use sign in front, right? So the same concept, that's why it is called unsigned. Okay, right? Then what is called long? So which means the integer with at least 4 bytes. It's a integer with at least 4 bytes. Okay, right. So these are the modifiers. Then what is called a short? Short is an integer at least with at least 2 bytes. Okay, right? So this is for the modifiers. Okay, so if you see integer, right, so we have different kinds of integer. We are not having only integer, we have signed integer, we have unsigned integer, right, and we have a long integer, right, we have unsigned long, we have signed long. Okay, now we have to read the ranges. Okay, as a programmer, right, you must know what is the range, then only you can perfectly choose which data type you want in your program. Okay, right? Say for example, what data type you will choose to store your marks? Definitely, right, in every university the marks will be round value. Okay, so round value means a number without any decimal, so which means it is a integer, the data type that we have to use for storing your marks. Okay, then what's the data type that you use to store the average? Okay, you have to use float, because it's the average will be what? It will be having a decimal point. Okay, right? And how do you store the bank balance, right? Which data type you use a bank balance? You will be using a double, okay, to store bank balance, because when you do any money transactions, right, so when you convert any USD to Indian money, okay, so it will be come in the big decimal points. Okay, big decimal points could not be handled by the float. Okay, then who will handle it? It will be handled by double. Okay, so you have to use double. Okay, then as usual I told you, right, so how will you store a bank account number? You will be using long. Okay, because there is a chance of having more than 4 bytes. Okay, for example, just see, when you see any programming language, the programming language must be memory efficient. Okay, to store a 2-digit number, okay, I should not use long, but I can use what? Short. Right? Fine, because it is capable of storing only, yes, you are right, it's capable of storing only what? 2 bytes, right? Okay, so I cannot use a very big data type to store a small value. Okay, that's why, see, for a very good real-time example, for example, in your home, okay, you have rooms for 2 guests, you have rooms for 4 guests, and you have rooms for 8 guests. Okay, suddenly a 4 guest is coming. Which room is a perfect room for them? You will definitely give the key of the room which can accommodate 4 guests. Am I right? But you will not give the same room for 2 guests, because we have separate 2 guest bedroom, right? So you can give that key. And also you should not, as I told you, you should not waste the resources, right? So what you have to do, if only 2 guests come, you will not give the key of the room which holds 8 guests. Okay, for 2 guests you have to give only the room which holds only 2 guests, not the 8 guest room, right? So you should not waste your resources. Okay, that is why they have split this. Okay, because it is memory, right? So just like that, you cannot give a long for storing a small value. Okay, if you want to store a small value, you have a data type, use that. Okay, use it efficiently. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now we see what I'm talking about, the range and all, right? So what is that called? Range. Okay, so let me just tell you. So if I say a short, okay, short is 2 bytes. Okay, and what is range? It is minus. By default it takes both the signed and unsigned. Okay, so what is signed? It is 32,768. okay, to 32,767. okay, the formula is actually minus 2 power, okay, minus 2 power 16, 2 power 16 to minus 2 plus 2 power 16 minus 1. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, fine. So this is what the short. Then what about the unsigned short? For if I'm not going to use a unsigned, if you're not going to use a signed, means it is unsigned short. Okay, so unsigned short will always take care about it. This also what, 2 bytes only. Okay, but it is from 0 to 65,535. okay, so this is what it range. So if you in a program, if you declare 0 to 0, if you declare short, unsigned short A equal to 67,000, okay, right? If you declare, wait, just I'll just scroll up so that we have a space to type. Okay, I'll talk about that the range, how your compiler will not accept more than this. Okay, so if I say an integer, right, then what about a signed integer? Same like signed short, right? It is same like the first one. It's the same like a short. Okay, now coming to the integer, this is also what, 2 bytes. Okay, right, this is also same like this one, short. Okay, right, so instead of short you simply give int. It is unsigned int. Okay, and signed int. Okay, now coming to the important one, it is called long. So long, I told you it must be at least 4 bytes. Yes, it is like a big space. Okay, so 4 bytes. So what is range? See its range, you will be amazing. So it is 4 bytes means what? It is 32 bits, right? 2 power 32. Okay, so if you put 2 power 30, you will get 2 billion, right? 147 million and 4,83,468. Okay, 2 plus 200 and so 2 billion 147 million and 4,83,467. Okay, it is according to the formula. Now if I say unsigned long, okay, this is also 4 byte, right, but it will not consider the negative points, right? So negative numbers, so it will take only the positive number. So it is from 0 to 4 billion 294 967 295. It's a very big number, right? Okay, so definitely if you want to store your register number, your mobile number, it's all comes in there. Okay, for example, if I give a mobile number, right, so how much it will be? It will be 10 digits. Now look at the digits it has, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So it has a 10 digits, right? Okay, so it can store. Okay, now what about the signed long? It is same like signed long is same like long. Got it? Okay, fine. Now what about the character, right? Now if you see a character char, okay, it actually starts with small c, char. Okay, it is from minus 128 to plus 127. So which means how many bytes? It is 1 byte. Okay, 8 bits. Okay, so if it is unsigned char, it's also what, 1 byte as usual. It is from 0 to 255. Got it? Okay, so signed char will be same like a char. Done. Now coming to the float. Okay, if you take a float, it starts with small f. Okay, float, it's a 4 bytes. Okay, it's a 4 bytes. And what is its range? It is 3.4 multiplied by 10 power minus 38. Okay, 2 power 2, 3.4 into 10 power minus 38 minus minus 1. Okay, what about for double then? So as I told you, if you say the digits of precision is 7. Okay, the same way if I just do it for double, okay, this is 8 bytes. It is double than the float. That's why it is called what? Double. Okay, it is 1.7, okay, into 10 power minus 308. See how much big it is? It is 1.7. Right? So it is 15. Now we have a long double as well. Okay, so it is 10 bytes. See how much big it is? Massive, right? So 3.4 into 10 power minus 4932. Okay, let me just copy, don't want to waste your time. So let me just copy. Okay, minus 1, nothing else. Okay, right? So it is how many here? The precision is what? The same, the digits of precision. The digits of precision is 19. I just copied that, that's why you got this one. Yeah, it is actually 19. Okay, fine. So these are the data types, okay, which is a basic data type that we use. Apart from this, we have a derived data types. Okay, so let me just scroll up and we'll talk about the derived data types. We'll be using it. So what are the derived data types we have? Number one, we have arrays, okay, which is created by us, okay, whereas integer, float, long and all is created by someone else. We are using it, right? But now if you use array, we are going to give our own name for array, okay, and next we are going to use it for function. Next we are going to use it for pointers, okay, and next we are going to use it for reference, and the fifth one is constant. Okay, so we'll talk about what is array, what is function, what is pointer, what is reference later. Okay, we'll talk about the pointers and all in this session itself. Okay, now shall we see how we can do this in a program. Okay, so let me just open code block. So as I told you in my first class, we'll be using a code block, okay, for developing any C++ code. So let's just wait until it opens the code block. And apart from the derived data types, right, we also have user defined derived data types, okay, which is called a class, structures, union, enumeration, right? So these are stuffs that we will be using it, okay, as the user defined derived data types that we will be deriving it, okay, during our program. Okay, now let's begin with how to use data type, right? So we will be using a data type for storing for declaring a variable, okay, right? Say for example, so let me just start with hash include IO stream dot, this is dot which is not required, so I have to put using namespace std colon then int main so let me just declare int a equal to 10, cout a equal to, so I given double quotes, as I told you whatever I given the double quotes is called string. Okay, so it will be a. Okay, so why it is showing a red line? Because I didn't save it as a CPP program. So let me just give a data type demos dot cpp. Now it changes its color. Okay, now what I have to do, I have to just run. It's asking you to build, just give build, yes. Okay, so it is just building and will show you the output. It says that okay, let's see that. So as we were discussing about this one, right, so it is 2 power minus 2 power 16 to 2 power 16 minus 1. Okay, so if you see that this is actually the formula for finding out unsigned. Okay, this is for actually power of n minus 1, which means 15. Okay, right, the same way here too is 2 bytes, right, so it is same like 15, right. So what is general formula? The general formula is actually from the general formula, so let me just type it. So general formula is 2 power 2 power n minus 1. Okay, 2 power n minus 2, 2 power n minus 1, the same like a 2 power n minus 1 minus n minus 1. Got it? Okay, so this is what the general formula. Okay, it's applicable for all the character, long and all. Okay, now we'll go to variables. So what is called variables, right? So you must know what is variable. Okay, so every data type, okay, that we have, we'll be using it in variable declaration. Okay, what is called variable? Variable is a name of a memory location. So which means we are giving a name to the memory location. Okay, so suppose if as a human being we are living in this world, right, if we don't have a name, right, then what's the point of living? Okay, so someone should keep a name for us, right? Who is it? Someone, maybe your father and mother, your guardian. Okay, so if you have a name, you will be called. Okay, right? So whenever anybody wants you, they will call you by your name. The same way, right, the variable is a name of the memory location. Okay, usually the memory location will be in the form of numbers, but it is not very easy for us to remember the numbers, right? So that's why we use what? Name. Okay, so for example, if I give int a equal to 10, okay, which means a is a variable, okay, holding the value 10. Okay, variable a has address. Okay, say for example if I have 2556 is the address. Okay, just assumption. Okay, right? So but we cannot judge which in which memory location I will store the value of a. Okay, that is not in our hand. The compiler will choose it. Okay, so variable a has address. Okay, so let me just say a in a single quote so that you will know that it's a variable. The variable a has the address 2556. Okay, so I cannot call 2556 in my program. So instead of what I do, I just call a. So wherever I refer a, right, I can see the value 10. That's the point. Okay, right? So when I say a variable, there are a way of declaring the variable, right? Say for example, if I give int 10a is an invalid declaration of variable. Okay, right? So how I cannot declare a variable? So valid, first, instead of saying a invalid declaration, first let us talk about what is valid declaration. Okay, a variable must start with alphabet or underscore. Okay, so let me just give underscore in a single quote so you understand. Okay, a variable can have numbers after the alphabet. Numbers after the alphabet. Okay, so let me see what is a valid declaration. Int a 10. This is valid declaration. Okay, int underscore a is a valid declaration. Let me just scroll up. Okay, so int a. So instead of saying a, let me just give first underscore name. This makes some sense, right? First underscore name. So when I have two words to connect that, I can use underscore. Okay, so this is valid. Okay, then what are the invalid? So this is invalid declaration. Invalid declaration of variable. First, what is that? It is this one, int a 10. Okay, so and then int star a star b. Okay, it is invalid. You should not have any special symbol as well. Okay, no special symbol allowed except underscore. Okay, alright, so these are the valid declaration. Okay, now we'll see in a code block how to declare a variable. Okay, let's check int space. Okay, see, it is displaying all the say in 16, 64, which means a 16-bit, 32-bit and 64-bit. Okay, so that's what it says. Int number equal to 10. Okay, int marks, because marks is integer, right? So you have to store a marks. Then float average. Don't give simply x and y, because if you give a x and y, the other programmer cannot understand what is that x, what is that y. Okay, you have to be specific about the variable that you use. Okay, if you're going to declare marks, means give it as a marks. Nothing wrong in giving the word marks. Okay, you can also use the proper word. Okay, that makes your code readable. So okay, so average will be what? For example, 78.9 is an average. Okay, and then I told you to use double for what? For example, I can store the converted underscore price. This is also I can use, right? It's valid. So converted. So after converting a dollar into a Indian rupee, say for example, let it be as 72 point some precision, right? So because the double takes more than 7, right? Okay, so next is what? String, right? String, what do we use? String name. Okay, name is equal to what I can give, say for example, Raja. Okay, right? Next is what? We have finished the integer, we have finished float, long. Next is what? Long. Okay, so long, what I told you, to store a mobile number. So let it be a mobile number equal to 8765678. I think I have too much of number. Is it 10 now? Yeah, 1 2 3 4. Now yeah, it's right. Okay, right. So why it is not taking yes? It's actually small s. Okay, that's why I use a string. Next is what? Cout. So you have to print the number equal to, so it should be within double quotes, less than number. So it is display, right? The code block, the main use of code block is actually a tool. It is used for developing applications using a C++, right? So it will just display you what are the variable that you have declared. Okay, so it is giving a pop-up. Next is what? Marks, right? Less than so I type marks. So I need not type it. So if I just popped out and press enter, it will come automatically. So next is what? This we cannot get it as a pop-up because it is in a string that we are giving it. Okay, so always give space after the equal to so that your output looks good. Now it will see, right? Next is what? Convert Cout less than. Here I give price. Okay, less than converted price. Okay, next Cout less than it's a name equal to space less than name. Okay, next mobile number Cout. What is Cout that I am using? Cout means it's a output statement. Okay, it is present in the iostream.h. So that I have to give as a mobile number. Okay, equal to space less than. If I type mobile, yes, it is recognized. Okay, now you just save this program, and then this is actually build and run. So it is displaying, right? So it is not displaying the mobile number properly. What is the reason? Okay, so why it is so? Because it takes only 4 bytes, right? Okay, so but it is too big. So what I have to give? I have to give a long. Yeah, now I'm getting the mobile number properly. Can you see? It is 87. Now see why I'm having everything in a single line. I want it in a new line, right? Number should be in one line and mark should be in another line and average should be in another line. Okay, one after the other. So how can I do it? Just I have to use endl, nothing else. What is endl? It is called inline. See? Okay, so I'm not going to do any magic here. Just copy this and paste it. It saves the time, right? Still we need to talk more, so it will be hands-on. You two can try it parallelly. Okay, fine. So it's still running, that's why I need to close it. So once you make changes, just to save it, just save it and then build and run. So you can, now you will see the output one after the other. Okay, see, now I'm getting the mobile number. Why I have given a long. If I simply given a long means it will take it as 2 bytes. Okay, so that's why I given what long. So if it is a long means the range is too small. Okay, right, fine. Okay, and then so we have seen variables, right? So what is called a valid variables, what is invalid variable. See, it will show you. Okay, it will show you. Let me just close this. For example, if I start this number with 2, okay, so when I compile it, it will throw you an error. Okay, okay, see, it is showing error, right? Okay, that's why it is invalid. But if I use underscore, okay, and then here also I have to change it, right? Underscore. Okay, and even I can use a mobile underscore number. That would be better, right? Instead of having a mobile number. Now if you see build and run, you will see the output. Okay, there is no change in that. Okay, so this is how I can use it, right? Next, we have to see the one important thing. What is called keyword, right? Right? Okay, what is keyword? Keyword are the word which conveys a special meaning. Okay, that conveys the special meaning, you know, right, to the compiler. To whom it has to talk? It has to talk to the compiler, right? Okay, so we have these are called the tokens. These are called the tokens, right? So if I say a program, the program comprises of keyword, identifier, literals, punctuators and operators. Okay, right? So if you see a C++, okay, the C++ has so many keywords. Okay, right? So if you look at that, it has 79 so the keywords, like, so what are the keywords that we have used? The keyword we have used right now is what is the int main, right? The main is a keyword, okay, and int is a keyword, long is a keyword, okay, double is a keyword. So these are the keywords. Okay, right. Now it has special meaning, so you cannot declare a variable as a, you cannot declare a keyword as a variable. Okay, that I need to mention. Okay, a variable cannot be a keyword. Say for example, I cannot give like this, so it comes under the invalid, like int if. Okay, if is a keyword. Okay, actually speaking, variable is based upon the user wish. Okay, but if is a keyword, you cannot declare it as a variable. Okay, compiler does not understand that. Okay, right, because if has a special meaning. Then what is called identifiers? Okay, what is called identifiers. See, the identifiers are the name given to a variable, function, class, the file name, right? So these are the identifiers. So which means it's a name given by the user for a unit of a program. Okay, right? So we'll be using a uppercase, we'll be using a lowercase, right? So if you use a break keywords, a reserved keyword, so these are called the these are the name, but you should not use the identifier should not be a keyword. Identifiers should not be a keyword, because I told you, right, the variable is a identifier. Okay, I cannot give int f, which means if is a keyword. That's why the identifier should not be a keyword. And also you should not give a keyword to a functions. You should not give a keyword to the class. I cannot give a class if, it's a wrong. Okay, and a void if, it's a wrong. Okay, so I should not use, okay, so I should not use the keywords as the identifiers. Okay, so totally if you see how many number of keywords that is available in C++ 11. Okay, after C++ 11 came into picture, okay, so there are 78 keywords. Okay, next, what is called literals. Okay, this is also a part of the session, right? We have literals. Okay, so the literals are data items that never change their value during a program execution. Okay, so what is called literals? Simply say literals are called the constants. Okay, or constant means what? Unchanged, right? The same way. So once I declare any value, okay, that I should not change, that I cannot change during a program execution. That's very important point. Okay, what are the kinds of literals that we have in C++? Number one, it has an integer constant. Okay, integer constant. Next is what? Character constant. Okay, and next one is floating constant, and then last one is string literal. Why is it string alone is called literal? Why? Because the reason is the string is also treated as a constant. Okay, it has a multiple character. Okay, right? So we'll talk about that later. Okay, because a string may be enclosed with a single quotes, right? If you declare it as a single quotes, it will be treated also as a character constant. Okay, that's why we have to treat the literals carefully. Okay, right? So how to handle the constant? Okay, so when coming to the integer constant, right? Integer constants, we have decimal constant first. It's a normal decimal, right? So it is like the base 10, 1, 2, 3, 4 is another one example, 41 is another example, then minus 17. So these are the integer constant. Okay, and next one is what? Octal constant. So octal means what? It's a base 8. Okay, it recognizes the digits from 0 to 7. Okay, so which means how will I represent that? It is 0, 9, 1 is octal. Okay, and 0, 68 is an octal, and 0, 2, 3 is an octal. Okay, and what is called hexadecimal? The hexadecimal is actually you know that hexadecimal means what? Is from 0 to 9 it will be a number, and after 0 to 15 it will be from A to F, right? So how do I represent that? So I'll be representing the 0 x, okay, is be taken as the hexadecimal integer. Okay, so if I want to represent 12, the 12 will represent as 0x c. Okay, because A is 10, B is 11, okay, and C is 12, so that's why 0xc. Then how will I represent a 14? It will be 0xe. That's how I represent. Okay, then what is characters constant? See, a character constant, so integer constant is over, right? The next one is what? The character constant. Character constants. So it's a single character enclosed with a single quotes, right? So this is character constant. Okay, so even a non-graphic characters, right, like escape sequence /a /b /n, the new line, okay, and /r is a carriage return, and then a /t, the tab. So these are also what? So these are also non-graphic characters, right? Okay, so an escape sequence represents a single character, okay, so which consumes a size of one character. So if I use a /n, it takes 1 byte of memory, so that's why a /n, then /r. So these are the non-graphic characters. Okay, now coming to the floating point character, floating point constants. Okay, so what is a floating point constant? So every floating number are called what? They are called real numbers, right? So how can I say 25.6? Okay, 2.0, then minus 0.065. so these are called what? These are called floating constants. Okay, right? And even some constants with exponential, right? Something like 125 e05. so these are also called constants. So see these are the valid real constants, okay, because it represents something. Okay, so strings. Now coming to the string, if you use a string literal, right, so it can be dealt with two types. So if in a single quotes, if it is represents, it will be treated as what? Character. Okay, and if it is enclosed with double quotes, treated as a string literals. Okay, so there are some things that we need to consider, okay, when you write a string. Okay, say for example, if I give if I give a /0 single quotes /0, this represents what? This represents null. Am I right? Okay, and double quotes, within double quotes, if I give ABC, what happen? What happen if I give ABC? That is also a string constant. Okay, when a double quotes ABC, double quotes. Okay, but what happens if I give something like this? ABC /0, ABC, right? So A, B, C. A is one character, one bit, B 1 bit, okay, and then C 1 bit, right? So the size is actually 4. /0 is also taken as what? Taken as a character. Okay, so the size is not 3, it is 4. That's the point. Okay, right? So these are the things that we call it as what? The constant. Okay, so how I can use a number? Okay, so for example, if I want to declare a pi, right, that will be declared as a constant, because a pi I can use it to calculate circle, right, circumferences, right? I can use a pi variable. Okay, that's also a constant. I can declare pi equal to 3.14. So 3.14 means what? It's a float. So I can declare as float pi, I have to give a meaningful name, right? 3.14. Okay, right? So that is what I say that the float will be decimal. Okay, so I am given a constant 3.14 for pi because that's a constant value for 22/7. Okay, now coming to the quick recap, right? What is data types? The data type is a type of data that we use in our program. Okay, right? It's related to the real world. Okay, I told you the age, marks now will comes in the integer, right? And your average comes in the float data type. Character means your grade. Okay, right? Your grade marks. Okay, so your grade points. So we'll be using a character. Okay, because it represents with a single alphabet. Okay, next is what? Double. So it is like a money. So whenever you deal with the money in your application, okay, you have to declare those thing as a double. Okay, then long means when I want to declare more numbers. See, when I given simply long, okay, it taken only what I said, right? It is up to only 2 billion 147 million, right? And and then 430 what is it? It is yeah, 483,468, right? So but my phone number is what? It starts with 9. Okay, so how that is possible? That's why so this means only 2 billion, but my mobile number starts with 9 billion. Okay, so that's why this is not even a long alone is not enough for me to store. I need something more. That's why I given a long. Did you understand? Okay, so if you simply give a int, right, it will accept both negative number and the positive number. But if you say unsigned, you cannot give negative number. You have to give only what? Positive number. That you need to keep in mind. Okay, next we had, so these are the data types which is already defined. Next, derived data type means what? From the existing data and deriving some new data. That's why it is called a derived data type. Okay, right? So it is called arrays. I'll create an integer array, I'll create a float array, I'll create a long array, I'll create a char array, I'll create a string array. So these are the things that I can access it. Okay, from the existing data types. Okay, so int array means I'm using the integer data type. From that I am deriving one array. For example, int marks. So the marks is the derived data type which is of the integer, right? The same way the function, pointers, reference, constant and all will come under the derived data types. So next is what? Variable, right? So I told you in this world we have a name. The same way even the memory of the computer, right, has some name. That name is called what? Variable. Okay, so whenever I refer a variable, why it is called a variable? First, because the variable varies. Okay, sometime during a program execution I may change the value. It varies. That's why it's called a variable. Okay, if I give a equal to 10, right, once I initialized, okay, always the a will be 10. But during execution I can change it. But once I declare it, if I not use the a anywhere, means the a value will always be 10. Okay, so every value, every variable has an address. So in our case I just mentioned it is 255. Okay, the a is a variable, okay, which is just the name of the address 2556. Okay, in that address I have value 10. That is what is int a equal to 10 conveys, right? And what are the valid declaration of variables, right? So a variable should not start with a number. It should start with the alphabet, and it should start with underscore, right? Underscore are allowed in your variable declaration. Okay, your variable can have underscore, but it should not have any other special character other than this underscore. Okay, and the variable cannot be a keyword. Okay, So I given a few examples for valid declaration and invalid declaration. Okay, right. So next I talk about identifiers, right? So identifiers are the class name, a function name, and the variables. Okay, identifier should not be a keyword. So as I told you, the C++ 11, okay, it's a recent version of C++, has 78 keywords. Okay, each keywords are reserved keywords. Okay, so that I mentioned, that I need to mention here. They are reserved words with special meaning. Okay, so identifiers are the name given to the variable, functions and class, and it should not be a keyword. Now coming to the literals. So literals means what? It's actually a constant. Okay, so if I declare an integer means it's an integer constant. If I declare a character means it's a character constant. If I declare a float means it's a float constant. Okay, and if you declare a string means it's a string constant. Okay, so these are the constant that you can use it. Okay, so I given some few examples. So integer constant means it's a decimal, octal, hexadecimal. Decimal means what? A normal number, right? The octal means what? It'll accept only what? Base 8. Okay, so it's like a 0, 91, 68 and 0, 23 are the example I given. And hexadecimal means what? From 0 to 9 it's a number, and from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 it will be from A to F. Okay, so in our case A is 10 means, then B is 11 and C is what? 12. So if you want to represent C, if represent a 12, it is 0xc. So 0x must be a prefix of any hexadecimal number. Okay, by that you can find that is a hexadecimal number. So this is actually a representation of 12. It's a decimal 12. Okay, in the character constant, I said, right? So if you use a /n, okay, it's actually a character. If you use a /r, it's a character. If you give a z, the normal character. Okay, what is /n and /r? It's called the non-graphic character. Okay, fine. So then a floating point constant. So you need to use a floating point and the exponential. Okay, then next is what? String literals. So string means /0 represents null. That takes one character. Okay, even null also will be taken as a one character. Okay, right? And then ABC. So then I combine ABC /0, it's actually a 4 characters. Right? So at last I given a floating point, pi is equal to 3.14. Okay, now we'll see one small demo. So here the number is what? 10. Now after printing it, okay, I mean before this line, I mean after printing everything, I am just changing the number, which is called underscore number is equal to 89. I am changing. Okay, now if I print the number underscore number, the value would have been updated because it takes only the recent value. Okay, now if I build and run, it gives you a new value 89. See, at first the number is equal to 10, at last what? Number is equal to 89. So this is how I can change a value. That's why it is called what? Variable. Okay, right? I hope you are understood about what is data type, right? And why do we need that? Okay, so you will learn more about data type when we get into a program. Okay, so I hope this session would have been useful to you, right? We have seen some hands-on as well. Okay, now in the coming sessions you will be using your laptop with me because it will be fully hands-on. Okay, if I keep talking, right, you feel bored. Okay, so I'm a kind of person who gives a session using hands-on, but wherever it is applicable I use hands-on, otherwise I don't. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the session. Thank you. Have a great day.